Hello and welcome to Orion Today. I am Joe Johnson, and once again I'm joined by Michael Dwyer. Thanks for coming back.
It's a pleasure to be here, and you're back too.
I'm back. Yeah. I took a little vacation time about a week ago. Went to Vegas for a few days. But the top story, and I'm surprised you haven't seen this in the Orion Review, I moved this past weekend. And it just about killed me. I'm surprised I'm sitting here today. This morning I was looking for pants to wear. I didn't know where they were put, so
We're all glad you found them.
Moving was a chore. It took 4 solid days to move from point A to point B. I am now near the village, within walking distance of the village of Lake Orion, which I'm excited about.
So that'll be handy.
I can bike to the Paint Creek Trail, which I'm hoping to start doing again. So I'm really excited about being part of the village again.
Now, did you downsize?
I did downsize. So
that's part of the challenge.
I went from a larger space to a smaller space. So I got boxes and totes filling up almost every square inch of my new place. And I got to figure out what's going to go where and what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to save or get rid of or sell. So yeah, I probably won't be fully settled in for a month or so. Yeah. When was your last big move?
I haven't had a big move.
Really? Wow. I once moved 3 times in 3 years. And so my family was like, we're done. We're out. But they came back this time and helped out. So big thanks to them for helping me get out. So, yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to come back to my parents' house, and that's where all my stuff was anyway. So
okay.
Makes it really easy.
Yeah. What'd you do this past weekend?
It was a fun weekend, but yesterday was really the big part of the weekend, even though it was Monday. Mm-hmm. Got to do the course at the Rocket Classic PGA tournament.
Yeah.
So it used to be the Rocket Mortgage Classic. They've dropped the word mortgage from it, so it's the Rocket Classic. Mm-hmm. It's part of the PGA Tour. So Ricky Fowler and many of these other guys, I don't know all of them because you know me in sports.
Yeah. But did you golf as a member of the media, or how did that work?
Yeah, so media was invited to golf and see the tour. So they've got 36 holes there. So they have a north and a south course. And the pros will play mostly, I think, the north. I might have that wrong. But there's some on the south. So they kind of mix and match to make it a professional tournament, so they make it more challenging.
Yeah.
So we got to play how they would play, and it was challenging.
Yeah. You know, years ago, way back in the 90s, Indianwood hosted the Women's Open, and I got media credentials to cover it, and part of the media credentials was to allow the media to golf. I think it was 18 holes at Indianwood, and I said, no thanks. I didn't want to embarrass myself at Indianwood. I'm more of like, you know, the caddy or something like that.
Would you prefer to embarrass yourself somewhere else? Because my golf game is an embarrassment anywhere I go.
First time I ever golfed was at the Belle Isle Golf Course, so yeah, I'll embarrass myself anywhere. But I just couldn't do it. My friends were angry that I turned down an opportunity to golf at Indianwood because it's a private club. So yeah.
Well, you know, part of my background of broadcast journalism and writing, I got invited to play golf all the time. I didn't know how to play.
Yeah.
So I felt like I'm missing an opportunity. So I went and learned enough to manage the course.
I'm unmanageable.
I've heard that.
I even embarrassed myself at Topgolf. I have the golf swing of Rodney Dangerfield. It's pretty much like that. So, how's your swing? Coming along?
It's going to be coming along for a long time. I got some tips because you know you can't see yourself, so you're taking tips from the other people you're playing. Of course, they're all different, but I needed to get closer to the ball, and it felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And he goes, "It's golf. It's supposed to feel uncomfortable." That was his tip.
See?
And so I'm like, if I got close enough to feel uncomfortable, I hit better.
I think what complicates things is if you develop a bat swing, that doesn't translate to a golf swing. It's completely different mechanics.
Keep your eye on the ball and go slow.
Yeah. So I'll take your word for it. Yeah. Man, today is probably like one of the first beautiful days of summer that we've had. May was kind of miserable, wouldn't you agree?
It wasn't quite the May, well, I think April and May both weren't.
Yeah.
Normally I got all my yard work done in April, and then May rolls around. I haven't even thought about it, and here we are, June now.
Yeah. Yeah, like, what was it, May 31st, which was what, Saturday. I went out with some friends for dinner in the village, and I had shorts and a t-shirt on from moving, and I was freezing. And I'm like, it's May 31st. Tomorrow's June, and I was cold. Something's wrong. Something's askew. I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to somebody. The weather's wacky.
I don't know who that letter is going to go to, but it is. Well, you know, it's changing. Everything changes with the weather. We're backing up or moving forward, or I don't know how it's going. But
Yeah.
you know, winter shifts. So the
Yeah.
typical time, I mean, someday we'll well beyond when we're gone. Winter might be in the middle of June. I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly. Yeah, it does seem like everything's off. Like August, when I was young, used to be the hottest month of the year. Now it has sort of early fall vibe to it. And winter, which used to kind of end in March into April, now seems to go well into May. So it's all screwy. Who do we complain to?
You just have to up your wardrobe to prepare for every weather condition.
In one day.
Yes.
You got big plans for the summer now that the weather is here? You got any trips, anything going on?
Well, you know, my better half Sonia and I will be going up to the Summer Wheat Music Camp, which is hosted by the Wheatland Music Organization. So we go up there. I teach Tai Chi to the group of wayward musicians that have sore arms and from strumming, and so we do that in the morning and the afternoon for them. Sonia is a participant. We also do some video work for them and take up pictures, and so.
Yeah. I haven't made any travel plans yet. I will be going to Disney World in November, but I haven't made any travel plans for the summer. But I do want to get away. I would have some vacation time I want to use up. So my happy place is Los Angeles. I love going to Los Angeles, but it's been like 3 years now since I've been to LA. So I might try to work in a LA trip this summer. We'll see.
Well, you could do Disneyland in LA, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you can make that happen.
Right. So maybe I'll do both in 1 year. That'd be interesting. I have some family members that are, you know, one of those Disney families where they have Disney all over their home, and my niece, my cousin's daughter, works at Disney World, and so they're big into Disney. So November should be fun. We're going to spend a week there.
The last time I was at Disney World, Epcot was new.
Oh, yeah?
So I don't know how long that's been.
Yeah, yeah. The last time I went to Disney World, I was a kid, and the one thing I remember was there was kind of a buzz. The audience or the crowd started chatting and murmuring, and we're like, what's going on? And Red Fox walked by from Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
And he was drawing so much attention, him and his wife had to duck into a building to evade the crowd. But that's one thing I remember as a kid going to Disney World, was seeing Fred Sanford in person. So that was cool. Yeah. So lots of stuff happening here in Lake Orion over the next few months. This is where things get really, really busy, and we have some special guests here today that are going to talk about that, and the exciting things that are coming up is as soon as this weekend. There's some stuff going on this weekend.
It's going to be busy, busy time.
It is, and my work will be cut out for me this summer. There's a lot going on. So we're going to go to this news break, and then we'll come back with our first guest. Of course, Memorial Day weekend was 2 weekends ago, long holiday weekend, and Lake Orion goes all out on Memorial Day. It is not a holiday for me because I am running around on Memorial Day. There's a 5K race, there's multiple ceremonies, and a parade in the village of Lake Orion. So I covered all of that with the help of our new intern, who covered one of the ceremonies at East Lawn Cemetery that was going on at the same time as the 5K. So here's a look back at Memorial Day here in Lake Orion.
Here in Lake Orion, the community once again came out to honor the fallen with ceremonies, a parade, and a 5K race. On the morning of Monday, May 26th, runners and walkers gathered near Children's Park in downtown Lake Orion for the start of the 9th annual Memorial Day run. Perfect weather brought 475 participants, the largest ever for the event. At 9 a.m., those taking part in the 5-mile run stepped up to the starting line. Go. Just a few minutes later, runners and walkers of all ages lined up to take part in the 5K race. Go.
So we do this to raise money for the Orion Veterans Memorial right there on the corner of O'Donnell and Lapeer Road. This is their only fundraiser that they do, and it supports the long-term sustainability of that beautiful memorial.
Seeing everybody come out here today, what's going through your head?
This is absolutely incredible. The energy has been amazing today. Everyone is showing their support for our veterans, and I couldn't be happier.
The course took runners onto Paint Creek Trail toward Kern Road, where they turned around at the Van Tassel Bridge before heading back to the finish line where they began. Finishing first overall in the 5K race was 14-year-old Charlie Fields of North Branch. He finished with a chip time of 19:11.5. The first female to cross the finish line was 25-year-old Adrian Barilski of Lake Orion. She finished with a time of 20:41.4. 30-year-old Ryan Holtz of Royal Oak was the first person to finish the 5-mile run with an impressive time of 29:48. That's a pace of just under 6 minutes per mile. Everyone who participated received a medal as they crossed the finish line.
I want to thank the whole community for making this possible. I mean, we couldn't do this without the people. We couldn't do this without all of our sponsors. But really, it's the support of everybody. It takes the entire village to do this, and they all showed up.
Just as the Memorial Day run was getting underway, a small ceremony was taking place at East Lawn Cemetery on Orion Road. Representatives of American Legion Post 233 gathered near the War Memorial at the cemetery to honor those who lost their lives serving their country. Post Commander Steve Hawkswell welcomed those in attendance and delivered a moving speech. Then Ladies Auxiliary President Sandy Boyd placed a wreath at the monument. Prior to the ceremony, members of the American Legion placed flags at the graves of those who served in the military. At 10 a.m., the group moved over to Children's Park, this time to honor those who lost their lives at sea. Sandy Boyd was prompted to drop a wreath into the waters of Paint Creek.
Well, this is for the folks that gave their lives for us. And this little town, I've been here since 1947, and I'm going to tell you something. There were a whole lot of folks that got away from World War II and the Korea and the whole thing. So it's very, 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 very important to us to give them, you know, just give them something for what they have done for us. This is what it's all about. To honor our guys that gave, ladies and gentlemen who gave their lives for us, so we can do what we can do here in Lake Orion in our country. That's what it's all about.
At 11 a.m., residents began lining the streets of downtown Lake Orion as the annual Memorial Day Parade made its way down Flint Street. Starting at Blanche Sims Elementary, participants traveled west toward Broadway Street, with VFW Post 334's Color Guard leading the way. Taking part in the parade were Cub Scouts, the Lake Orion High School Marching Band, and military vehicles. Participants turned right onto Broadway Street before heading to Elizabeth Street, where the parade came to an end. At 1 p.m., the day's events concluded with the ceremony at the Orion Veterans Memorial. Chairperson Bob Smith greeted visitors, then introduced Cynthia Hale, retired Lieutenant Colonel of the U.S. Air Force, who gave the Memorial Day address.
Saying Happy Memorial Day. So a few years ago, I was talking with a Gold Star mom, and a Gold Star family is a family that has lost an immediate family member, mom, dad, brother, sister, husband, wife, and then they died in active duty military service. So the mom asked me, she said her son had been killed since 9/11. She said, would you mention that it's very hard and difficult and a bit hurtful when someone wishes someone a happy Memorial Day? And I think that's true for many people. When I looked online and kind of was reading about it, it's true. It can seem a bit jarring and a bit insensitive when they're grieving and remember the loss of someone that they love or someone that they served with. Some of the suggestions that they offered was that we could let them know that we'll be remembering what the holiday is about, or just letting them know that you're thinking of them, acknowledging the significance of the day and the sacrifices that they made and their loved one made.
Following the address, VFW Post 334 Commander Jim Hubbard introduced U.S. Navy veteran and Post Chaplain Matt Butkus as the 2025 Veteran of the Year. Then representatives of the VFW read the names of Lake Orion natives lost in all wars, from the Civil War to the most recent conflict, including those veterans who have recently passed away.
Lee F. Carpenter, Clayton Albert Decker, Robert Leland Decker.
The ceremony came to a close with a gun salute and the playing of taps.
Ready?
You'll be able to watch the Memorial Day ceremony in its entirety on Comcast channels 10 and 20, or you can view it on demand on the ONTV YouTube channel and website. Visit OrionONTV.org for more information.
And welcome back
Yeah.
to Orion Today.
As you can see, Lake Orion really turns out on Memorial Day. They go all out.
They do. It was fantastic, everything that they've done. I'm looking over at the screen that we were watching during the break.
Yeah.
It's a great town.
It is. Yeah.
And you're going to be even closer.
I'll be even closer after, well, I was going to say after the parade I could walk home, but no, I got to go to the memorial. But no, it's an honor for me to be out there, and I know they appreciate it that I'm out there covering those events, and I'm happy to be out there. And we had a beautiful day for it, too.
Yeah.
So let's hope for beautiful weather for the Jubilee. Joining us now is Roger Broder from the Lions Club, and this is your busy time of the year.
You might say that. Yes, we are swamped getting everything prepared. Most of the work happens before we even get out there.
Yeah.
We submitted our paperwork back in December, so it starts early.
And it's a long time tradition here in Lake Orion. I've heard people describe it as an opportunity for reunions where people who may have left Lake Orion come back for the Jubilee, and it's something that residents come to expect and enjoy. So I'm sure that's a motivation to keep this going.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the outpouring of support for us is tremendous. Facebook, if you watch the chat page that everybody loves to hate, it's just Jubilee everywhere.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody brings it up, everybody jumps on. It's a lot. It makes us feel good that people appreciate what we do.
Yeah. Now, over the past decade, the Jubilee had experienced some changes. When they were tearing up the streets of downtown Lake Orion, the Jubilee was forced to move to Woodside at Canterbury in the parking lot there. The turnout, not so great when it moved. And it was there for, what, a couple of years, and then it came back to downtown Lake Orion, where it belongs. You're going to be undergoing some changes this year. Let's talk about the changes that people can brace themselves for Jubilee this year.
I don't know that it's going to be that drastic to the people watching. It made a big difference to us, and I think it will to the businesses. We're moving the entire thing one block east on Flint Street, so it'll be at Flint and Anderson rather than Flint and Broadway.
We have a map, if we could bring up that map.
There you
So
go.
you sent me this map. So running north and south is Anderson Street, east and west is Flint Street. So
Yeah.
Anderson and Flint is going to be the heart of Jubilee this year.
Yes.
Describe what we're
So-
looking at on that map.
So we'll have, basically we took the whole thing and flipped it over. So the big rides will be there in front of the, on the north, on the top right corner is the funeral home. So the big rides will be there instead of over on Flint Street, the other side.
Where's the Ferris wheel going to be?
Ferris wheel will be right basically in front of Hanson's and in front of that parking lot there.
Okay.
Right there on Flint. Across the street essentially from what is currently 313 Pizza. And then a couple of the other big rides in that empty parking lot on the south, or on the lower left corner, southwest corner. And then you know, a few miscellaneous tents and all the games along the streets and food trucks and all the, you gotta get your elephant ears.
Yep.
Can't miss the elephant ears.
Oh, yeah.
So,
now, if we were to continue south on this map, that's where Children's Park is, and
Yes.
that parking lot, what's going to be there?
So on Thursday, we will set up our tent to have the beer tent. And I have the privilege of running that and all the commotion associated with it. And so we have, this year's going to be a little change. We've had the same bands basically for the last 8 years, 10 years. And Friday night we have a new band. And so, and my mind is losing it right now.
Who the bands are?
But it's a very good band. We've changed it up on Friday night, and then we have Scotty Doesn't Know, just like last year, on Saturday night. So.
Stereo Kings.
Stereo Kings, sorry.
Oh, you got
keeps
the
slipping
information
my
right at
mind.
your fingertips. Yeah.
There you
And
go.
Scotty
Glad
Doesn't
somebody
Know, that
came
comes
prepared.
from that movie Euro Trip, doesn't it?
Is that right?
No idea.
Okay,
You got
I'm
me.
guessing.
You're talking to a movie guy over here, too. He should know this.
Now, didn't the Jubilee go a few years without a beer tent? And but that's like
Yeah.
your big money maker, isn't it?
Actually, the carnival is.
The carnival is.
Yeah,
your big
the
money
carnival is.
maker. Talk about that. So does Skirbeck come back for the rides and games? Who does?
Yeah, Skirbeck every year. They've been a great partner. We like working with them. They're very flexible. You know, they've adjusted their map according to what we were able to do this year to make the changes. Great company to work with, family owned up in Escanaba. They're out of Escanaba, and they travel around the state. But they, you know, they share the profits with us.
Okay, so
part of
that's how that
that's
works.
what the deal is, and
That's great.
it's worked out great for us. It's about a third of our budget for the year for the Lions, for the charity budget that we have, and of course with our charity budget, everything that comes in goes back out. We have our own administrative budget, but that's Lions members' money. We don't. We have a separate fund, if you will, for things like scholarships for high school kids for Lake Orion High School, and you know, a couple other things. But what comes in goes back out. Nobody gets paid. In fact, if I back in the day when my kids were younger, if I wanted a wristband, I had to buy the wristband. If I want a beer at our beer tent, even though I'm the one in charge, I have to buy my beer.
Yeah.
We don't make any money. We aren't allowed to profit in any way off of the Lions Club.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know the Lions, they do so much in the community. I've attended several check presentations where, talk about some of the organizations that benefit from the generosity of the Lions Club.
Well, one of the ones probably best known in this area, since we're so close to Rochester, is Leader Dogs for the Blind. Of course, they were started by Lions. Detroit Lions back in, not those Detroit Lions, Detroit Lions Club,
yeah.
back in the 30s, I believe it was. And our club started in 1938. But like this weekend, Leader Dog has their Bark and Brew event, which is a 5K race. Starting out of Rochester Mills Brewery. So there's still time to sign up for that, I believe, at leaderdogs.org.
Okay.
So that's obviously one of our biggest partner charities. And then also started by our own Lake Orion Lion, Al Casson, was the Bear Lake Camp for the Blind, which started in what is now the subdivision just north of Kroger there on Lapeer Road. Franklin
Oh,
Wright
Camp
Boulevard.
Franklin, yeah.
Yeah, Camp Franklin was where he started the blind camp, and then eventually, when that was sold off to build the subdivision, they moved it up to Lapeer. So, and again, they have a golf outing on Monday next week, and just kind of, they've really expanded. They're doing a lot of events this summer. If you get a chance, go to bearlakecamp.org. They have a baseball game. They have a lot of different things to get involved in, and that all, we support both of them, as well as a number of other charities. But around town, scholarships for kids. We support baseball teams. We support all of the first robotics teams in Orion. And
I've noticed that a couple of
glasses,
events,
hearing aids.
you got that trailer project Kids Site. Talk
Sure.
about what that's about.
So we'll actually have the trailer at the Jubilee, and we've had it at the Dragon on the Lake and other events. And you can bring your kids there, and we have a camera where about this far apart across the table, or across the two chairs, we'll take a picture of your kid's eyes, and it can do some measurements just from a distance and just give you an idea if maybe there's a problem and a referral to a doctor, that you should go take your kids to a doctor. We found this to be really helpful for kids that aren't in school yet, because of course when you go to school, generally
That's when you realize there may be an issue.
Yeah.
So
They
this
can't
gives them
see
a head start.
Can't see the board or whatever they use these days. Chalkboard in my day.
Yeah, I was going to say that chalkboard
It's a
was
screen
blurry.
of some sort.
Some sort of screen.
When you say chalkboard now, you sound like a little rascal. Like my teacher was Miss Crabtree. But
So
that's a
so
great
we can
service.
let them know that there might be something they can look at. And
Yeah.
we've had a couple people tell us that if I hadn't come to see you guys, we would have known, and her eyes would be worse now.
Yeah.
We've heard that a number of times.
That's a great service. And then another fundraiser, we're about a month away from 4th of July weekend. Now, if I remember correctly, the Jubilee used to be a little closer to 4th of July, and it was like one big, long holiday weekend. Jubilee has moved up, but you still use 4th of July as a fundraiser. Talk about Flare Night.
So Flare Night started back right after World War II. And Independence Day, they sold flares as a fundraiser, and all around the lake, people put these flares in the ground in front of their house and light up the perimeter of the lake, of Lake Orion. And I think it's been picked up at Long Lake and maybe some others as well. But light up the whole perimeter of the lake in red. Yeah, there you go. There's some pictures on the screen. And those flares, we sell cases and cases of those things, thousands of them. And that's our fundraiser. And been doing it every
There's
year.
Wonder Cleaners, that's one of the
Wonder
locations
Cleaners,
you can
well,
purchase them.
the
Do you know
owners
some
of
the other?
Wonder Cleaners, that's owned by Lions members.
Okay.
And
Ed's Broadway
Ed's on
Gifts.
Broadway, yeah.
And the Lions pontoon boat.
Yeah, so we have a couple of our members that go around on their pontoon boats and sell them around the lake on busy days. So you can buy them that way. So a number of different methods. Yeah.
So these big houses that are on a peninsula, they're really supporting.
Oh
you.
yeah.
Oh yeah, because they do the whole perimeter. Of,
And honestly,
yeah.
a couple of those are Lions as well. So we have over 100 members now. So
Wow.
we have a lot of connection in town. A lot of the business owners, a lot of the homeowners on the lake, and other things. So yeah,
I
we get
attended
around.
a ceremony one time at a Lions meeting where you were swearing in some young members. So do you have young members coming in? How's your membership situation?
It's coming down. The average age is coming down. I'm working to bring it back up, unfortunately. But yeah, we have some in their 20s and 30s. Families, I mean, I started 15 years ago. My youngest just graduated at 18. So, I had young kids when I started, and you manage it. And Lions Club is not about you must be there at every meeting, you must be at every event. You do what you can do when you can do it. And we're more about, your family.
That's a club I can join.
It's absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about your family time first, and your work, and then Lions.
And was it originally just for men?
Yes, actually, I believe it was in the late 90s
Because
that it was changed.
Wow.
Because there was
Recently.
lions and there was lionesses.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so now they've combined. It started out that there was still lions and lionesses, but women could join. Now they've kind of rolled lionesses in with lions.
Okay.
So we have the Lake Orion Lions Club and the Lake Orion Lioness Lions. They're a branch of our club.
All right.
Gotcha.
But women can definitely be in our club. And actually, we're one of the highest percentages. We're about 50-50, I believe,
nice.
now in
Yeah,
in Lake Orion.
Yeah.
Well, we all know the women were doing all the hard work anyway. We just decided we might as well just make them members because they're.
Yeah, we
That's
do all the
right.
lifting.
Yeah. Right. You're the muscle. We're just about out of time, but in a couple of months, this will be what, the second year of the car cruise?
Yeah, so August 31st, last year we were hoping for 50 cars and we got 107, I believe it was. So this is our second year of the car cruise at
Canterbury
Village.
Okay.
Back in the back.
Yeah, it was great.
It was really a great day. Yeah, I had my car out there for the first time, and it was really exciting to be there and see that many people, and it's fun getting together with that group of people that you learn a lot about each other's cars, and hey, I think I'll do that on my car too. And
Sure.
I like going to those car shows.
Yeah. So we'll plug that more as it gets closer.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you want to find out more information about the Lions Club, it's LakeOrionLions.org.
Yes, LakeOrionLions.org.
And you have
Or
a
a
pretty,
Facebook page.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Usually, if I need to find something out about the Lions, I go to Facebook. You guys keep up on top of that. So.
Yeah, we keep that pretty good. But even all the information is available on our website as well. We've got a member that came around about 4 years ago and just took the website away from me, so I have one less thing on my plate, and he loves doing it. So, that's what we're looking for, is that kind of talent. Everybody has something they're really good at.
Yeah.
Jump in and do it. I tend to be the MC for our events, and I enjoy doing it. That's what we're looking for. Everybody has a skill you're good at that we can utilize. That we could use your help. So
Sounds good. All right,
Excellent.
Thanks for coming down today, and I'll be at Jubilee with my camera and try to shoot from the top of the
I know
Ferris
you
wheel.
will.
Actually, we got a drone just recently, so maybe I'll fly the drone over the Jubilee.
That'll be nice.
Get some nice aerial shots.
That'll be fantastic.
Weather permitting. Let's
Let me
hope
know.
we're-
I'll wave to you.
We're going to throw it now to a recent Wildwood concert. The season actually kicks off very, very soon with the North Oakland Concert Band, I believe. So here's a little kind of a sneak peek of the Wildwood concert with the season kicking off just in a couple of weeks.
And we're back.
And that was cast iron cornbread.
I bet that's the best way to have cornbread too.
Cast iron?
In a cast iron.
Yeah.
Does it make all food taste better? Makes music taste better, that's for sure.
So that was from last season. This season kicks off this Thursday at the Wildwood Amphitheater at Civic Center Park. North Oakland Concert Band, as they do every year, will kick off the season. And then every Thursday from then on, I don't know if they skip any Thursdays, but we have Theo Gridiron and Friends, Persuasion, Lake Orion High School Band on June 26th. Taylor Tucky, I have friends that live out in Taylor Tucky. Wayback Machine, Yacht Seas, Stone Blossoms, 50 Amp Fuse, and Mob Opera will make up this year's
I think they
concert
only
season.
skip the Thursday of the 4th of July week.
Okay,
And
yeah,
then they're
yeah,
on
that
every
makes sense.
Thursday.
Yep.
It's
And,
a nice schedule. Check it
yeah,
out.
so if you're looking for something fun and free to do with family, Wildwood Concerts kick off this Thursday. All right, we now have with us Ashley Lehman from the library. And what the heck is going on in your parking lot over there?
Good question.
They got to start there.
Done. It's almost done. Yeah, so we got a new parking lot. I don't know if you noticed in the springtime, it definitely needed to be done.
Yeah.
So it kind of got redesigned. We made it a little bit bigger, a little more efficient. They just completed the first layer, so we are good to go. You can park in the parking lot again, and they're going to complete it the end of next week with the final layer and the striping. We'll have to close a couple days, not sure which days yet, but we will announce that when we have to, so when they complete that striping, and we will have a nice, new, efficient parking lot with a new drive-up window where you can drop off your books.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Now I see regular Facebook posts reminding people that you have been open during the process.
Yes.
Have you found that traffic has gone down a little bit while the
Not
parking?
really. No,
Really?
we've been
Okay.
pretty. We did it in 2 phases, so there was always a place to park. Yesterday was a little sketchy because they were paving the entrance, so we did have to park people on the grass, but luckily we have a good spot where you can park. I mean, we've been parking on the grass for a couple months now as staff, so to leave room for everybody else. But we've had a pretty steady flow of people throughout the process.
Speaking of a steady flow of people, how is the construction going to affect this weekend's events?
Yeah, good question. So we are holding off on finishing the final layer until after our summer reading kickoff, which is on Saturday at 11, and we get, almost 1,000 people come to the library that day. So we want to make sure that parking lot is ready to go. And since it's bigger, we added a few more spots, and we hope there'll be a good amount of space. I know people always park on the grass that day anyway.
Yeah.
Because we have so many people come.
It's amazing to see when the parking lot is full and it's overflow parking.
Yeah.
Talk about what someone's going to experience this Saturday.
Yeah, our kickoff event, it's for families and people in the community for our summer reading program. Obviously, summer slide is an issue with kids, so we want to promote reading for fun throughout the summer when they're not in school. There's some really cool images on it right now.
Yeah, from last year, yeah.
Last year. We have just a lot of different entertainers. We have bounce houses. We have our summer theme is Color Our World this year, so we're going to have a lot of arts and crafts activities, painting a graffiti sheet with spray paint. That's going to be a lot of fun. Right there is, we have Flip Spot coming and doing an obstacle course for little kids, and we have Oakland County Parks, where we got a grant to bring in the bounce houses for free. So it's going to be lots and lots of fun for all ages. We have activities for all ages.
So this kicks off the summer reading program. Talk about what is expected of participants over the summer.
Yeah, so our summer reading program is for all ages. It's not just for kids. We have everyone here. We have all the way birth through adults, so we have youth, teen, and adults. You track your reading and other library-related activities online, and you can, by reading a certain number of books or reading a certain number of minutes, you get prizes, including free books. Adults, there's a raffle for a free e-reader. Kids, we went to Green Hippo Gifts just a couple days ago and
I
bought
saw your post.
a bunch of our TikToks are really cool. We bought a bunch of prizes for our kids for the showcase prizes. So we raffle off a bunch of prizes, and teens have a end of summer party at Water Warrior Island at Bald Lake Bald Mountain. So yeah, there's a lot of fun. So it's just reading for fun and promoting reading for fun for all ages. And you track your reading online. We have Beanstack, which is an app you can track those books in those minutes. And then you can come in and pick up your prizes. Yeah.
Speaking of prizes, I see here there's a chance to win a family pack to the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, we've been doing that a couple years now. If you register the first weekend, we do give away some tickets through the Tigers charity organization.
You gonna start reading now, Joe?
Yeah.
Well, they're doing really well. The Tigers are the best team in the
Did you watch
league
that
right
game
now.
last night? It was amazing.
I don't even know where to watch Tigers games anymore, but I see the updates and the highlights, and they're looking like the '84 Tigers. Dare I say?
They are 40 wins already. They got 40 wins.
First team in the league to get to 40 wins.
Yes,
So
yeah.
very exciting. So that could be a very
Yeah.
hot ticket.
I know. The last couple of years, I know people are kind of interested, but now that they're really good, people are.
It's always the case, right?
Really
they wait till
interested
they're really good.
now. Yes.
So I see that kids need encouragement to read, and some of these programs will keep them reading through the summer when they're not forced to because of school. Teenagers the same way. But do adults need that encouragement, or is this just a fun way to get them involved?
I mean, it's just always great to read at all ages and keep your reading knowledge up and stuff like that. So we do have some fun adult programs that are just for fun, like our adult Battle of the Books. If you guys are familiar, I know Joe is familiar with our 5th grade Battle of the Books, which is super, super popular with 5th graders. We have an adult version. They read 4 books over the summer, create a team, and then it's a trivia contest at a bar at 313 Pizza, and they are going to, and then it's just a trivia questions about those books, and they
So it
compete.
proves they've read the books,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And I see quite a genre difference here with what you're
Yes.
doing. So it may not be a book I'd be interested in. 1 or 2 of these on the list might be, but then it would be a hard sell for me to read one of the other ones. So this is a way to get you to maybe reach out
Exactly.
beyond your normal scope and read something.
It's the same philosophy for the 5th graders. Like, we force them to read poetry books or books about factual or information books or even picture books that they may not pick up on their own.
Yeah.
We do the same thing for adults. Force them to read graphic novels or memoirs or other informational books that you may just be like, oh, I don't read those kind of books. That's not my jam. But then you're like, oh, I actually might like a mystery book. That's weird.
Yeah.
I never knew that. So
Now,
it's
at
just
the
about
trivia night,
expanding.
do they wear crazy costumes like the kids do? Or
I've never been.
I would if I did.
I've never been, but maybe we should encourage them this year. Sign up just started, so if you have a
That would be
costume,
fun.
I feel
Extra
like
points gets you on the board right away.
Yeah.
best costume contest gets you an extra book at the end.
Yeah.
But it has to be from one of the books. You got to dress as a character
Well,
from one of the
Yeah,
books.
but
That's
you can't
usually
give
what
away.
the kids do.
Yeah.
They usually are inspired by the books to create themes for each team. So yeah.
Exactly.
That's a lot of fun. And so all of this leads up to the end of the summer, which I dread talking about right now.
know.
It's June 3rd. But at the end of summer on August 9th is the big finale. What do you have
Yes.
planned for the
Well,
finale?
I would argue that summer goes a lot longer than that, but we do end in August so kids can get ready for school and
Yeah.
everything. But we have a really cool performer, and it's very interactive. Lori is her name, and she has a company called Drumunity. So she comes and brings a bunch of drums and a bunch of different musical instruments, and it's kind of like a big, huge drum circle for kids.
Yeah.
And they just get to make music, and it's very free, and it's not, there's no they don't have to follow any
There's
musical.
no wrong way to hit
there's
a drum.
Exactly. So, and they just have a really good time. So we do that, and right after that, we raffle off those showcase prizes, and that is the big thing for the kids up to 5th grade, and families can come to that one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that'll be summer's
Yeah.
going to go by like that.
I mean, there's so many other things going on this summer. We have Fandom Fest this summer. That we used to do that in
May. Yeah.
We
Star
bumped
Wars
it
Day,
to July, and that's July 12th. Anything Fandom. There's a lot of fun things, including K-pop karaoke for that one. And then we're bringing in one of our favorite magicians, Cameron Zavara, in July as well. So there's a lot of fun throughout the summer for
great.
kids. And then the adults, they also have the, we're doing the Art of Storytelling, which is an art competition.
Oh yeah, you've done that before, right?
Yeah, this is the third year doing it. They're partnering with Orion Art Center. They read a book, a memoir. It's called Everything I Learned in a Chinese Restaurant. So, and then the art they create has to be based off of that book.
Yeah.
And it has to include something that was made in our makerspace as well.
Oh, wow.
And that you'll sign up throughout the summer, and then the art gallery, the opening is, I believe, sometime in September.
All right.
So you
Yeah,
have
that was
the
fun
whole
last year.
summer
That
to
was
do
neat.
that one
That's a
as
fun
well.
challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenny, are you artistic?
Well, I am a member of the Orion Art Center. I
good.
do pottery over there.
That's
right.
awesome.
But,
Yeah.
That would be a
So
good
if
thing.
it's clay, I could
Yeah.
maybe participate.
There you go.
Yeah, that you could do pottery, and then you can add an element, maybe something on our Cricut or our Glowforge machine
Yeah.
or something.
That's
that would be
awesome.
pretty fun.
Yeah.
Definitely.
With the few minutes we have left in this segment, I'd like to throw out this question whenever we have someone from the library here. What is on your nightstand? What are you reading or have just recently finished? Start with you, Ashley.
Okay, I am in the middle of a book called Death by Cheesecake.
What a way to go.
The author's last name is Courage. It is a Golden Girls cozy mystery. So it is, if everybody knows Golden Girls, right?
Oh, sure,
It is
yeah.
based off of, it is written exactly like an episode of The Golden Girls. So if that's like your cozy show you might watch at home, when you watch the seasons over and over again on Netflix, and it's just your background show. If you want a new Golden Girls story and with a little bit of mystery, it's a fun one. I'm halfway through it. I'm listening to it on audiobook, and the author does a pretty good job with the voices.
Yeah.
So, and that's like a big thing with the show is like Sophia's voice and Blanche and Rose and all that stuff. Author's last name is Courage. So I'm halfway through. It's great. I have, like I said, audiobook, and I have the physical copy too if I want to read it.
Yeah.
The book as well. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Michael, you in the middle of anything, or have you finished anything?
Well, I've got a book. I think it's called The Cat Mojo or The Mojo Cat, something like that. It's the guy from TV. He looks like a biker with tattoos and long beard. He carries his cat toys around in a suitcase, like a
I have to look this up.
guitar case, suitcase. Anyway, he's understanding your cat. I got a new cat about a year ago, and I've never had a kitten, so my girlfriend gave me this book and said maybe you can understand him a little better. And it's been a struggle. I can say I've read the book, and I have less bites than I did before I read the book.
Nice.
They're not gone yet. He
Yeah,
still
yeah.
likes to bite me, but I think it's just love at this point.
How old is your
There you
cat?
go. Show affection.
Little over a year.
Okay, yeah, they're still biters at that age.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just teething.
Yeah, right. Good answer.
That's right. I can't remember if I mentioned this on a past episode of Orion Today, but the last book that I read from cover to cover is the story of the Bangles, the all-girl rock group. That's,
Loved it.
Yeah, their book just came out a few months ago. I picked it up, the Barnes & Noble on Baldwin Road. I bought their last copy of it, read it in just a couple of nights, and not only was it a fascinating tale of female entertainers experiencing misogyny and the hardships of being an all-girl group and the sexism involved, which I just wasn't aware of. I was such a huge fan of the band. I never understood that they were going through some really awful things as an all-female rock band. But the coolest thing about it is that I am mentioned in the book.
Wow.
Yeah, so I found, or I had a video on VHS of their appearance on the Joan Rivers show back in the 80s. And again, the sexism and everything played a role where she was asking them who slept with Prince, who slept with your roadies or your fans. It was just a really awful interview. And I had uploaded that to YouTube. So as I was reading the book, it made reference to the Joan Rivers show. And I'm like, as far as I know, I'm the only person who uploaded that video to YouTube. So I saw a little annotation, and I went to the index in the back, and it said video courtesy of Joe Johnson. So
You got a footnote.
so I got a footnote in a couple of different sections of the book. And Henry Rollins, the singer, he was talking about the sexism, and he referred to the Joan Rivers show. And again, I had a footnote on that page too. So imagine the thrill of seeing your own name in a book about your favorite band. That's pretty awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, all right, well, that wraps up this interview. Information's the library website.
OrionLibrary.org.
There you go.
Everything can be found there.
Yeah,
You
and
can
it's really
sign up.
well done. Kudos to whoever maintains that website.
Yeah, we got a couple great IT people in our library. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks for being here today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I love talking about library stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And now, we have an LO Sports update. School is winding down. I think this is the last full week. Graduation is tomorrow, but we have one last LO Sports update before the school year comes to an end.
Hello and welcome to Lake Orion Sports Update. I'm your host Joey Tysick, and today we will give updates on the spring sports playoffs as some teams are still in and others have seen their seasons come to a close. The Lake Orion varsity girls soccer team finished another outstanding regular season as their record finished at 15-3-2, winning their last 5 games of the season. On May 27th, the Dragons headed to Oxford, host of the District 6 playoffs, to face off against the Wildcats of Oxford for their first playoff match. Oxford had to play in the first round district game against Davison, where they won 2-1 to be able to move on and face Lake Orion. Lake Orion opened the game with the first goal to get off to an early lead. However, Oxford was able to rally and score 4 straight goals, which would lead to a bit of a shocking final of 4-1 Oxford. Oxford then went on to beat Clarkson in a 1-0 overtime game to take the district title. They now will play in the regional tonight against Heartland. A bit of a disappointing end to a fantastic season for the Dragons, but that's just how it goes sometimes. This Dragon team is still one of the best as of recent years, and I think the program could continue to grow and stay as one of the teams to watch out for going forward. The Lake Orion girls lacrosse team had also had a successful regular season as they finished the season with a 15-2 record while going on a 13-game winning streak to end the season. This team has been one of the best offenses in the OAA and looked like they could give anyone issues as they approached the playoffs. Their first round matchup was against Grand Blanc, where they took care of business, winning 22-3, putting them in the regional semifinal against Oxford. The lacrosse team was able to avenge the soccer team a bit and beat Oxford 25-10, once again proving how strong this offense is. This put Lake Orion in the regional final against host team Heartland. Winner moves on to the Final Four and a chance at the state title. It was a close game throughout, and unfortunately, Lake Orion came up just short as Lake Orion lost 7-8. Once again, it was a great showing by the Dragons, and I'm sure they will be back again next year. On the boys' side, it was another great season for them as well, as they finished the season at 15-5 under legendary coach Ronald Hebert. The team did seem to have a little bit more struggles than they normally would, but all in all, it was a great showing. For their first round regional, they beat Anchor Bay 19-1, and then in the regional final, they were able to knock off Macomb Dakota 9-4. Then in the state quarterfinal, they were matched up against undefeated and one of the favorites for the state title, Detroit Catholic Central. Lake Orion fought hard, but Catholic Central was just too much as the Dragons would fall 7-18. Once again, Lake Orion has one of the best lacrosse programs in the state, and I'm sure they will bounce back next year. The Lake Orion softball team, once again, is trying to make it to the state finals after losing in this final last year. However, it is never an easy task. They started their playoffs in the district against Waterford Kettering, where they beat Kettering 17-0. Then in the district semifinal, Lake Orion would face off against Waterford Mott, where they once again would get a shutout, winning 15-0. This would lead them to the district final against Clarkston, who just came off a 7-1 victory over Oxford. But once again, Lake Orion would keep it rolling and beat Clarkston 8-2. This now makes for an exciting regional semifinal against Walled Lake Northern, who is 30-6 on the season. That game will be played on Saturday, June 7th at 10 a.m. at Grand Blanc High School. If Lake Orion wins, they will move on to the regional final later that day at 2 p.m. Come out and support those Dragons. What another fantastic spring sports season put on by Lake Orion. Many teams made it far into their playoffs, are still playing, or even just had an incredible regular season. I also want to mention that the girls varsity track team won their regional at Milford this year, beating Clarkston by just 3 1/4 points, as their field events rallied Lake Orion into a bit of a comeback victory and beating the other 14 schools that were there. What a great accomplishment. And finally, the boys golf team also were the regional champs and will be moving on to the state tournament, which will be played on June 6th and 7th. Good luck to all remaining Dragons. For past episodes of the Sports Update, head on over to orionontv.org and click the ONTV On Demand link. There you'll find all of ONTV's community programming, news, sports, concerts, and government meetings. You can also watch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV, all in HD. Just add the Cablecast channel to your lineup to enjoy local programming at its best. For even more Lake Orion sports, check out our YouTube channel for our full game coverage. Visit youtube.com and search for Orion Neighborhood Television. Also make sure to catch all of our replays Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays at 7 p.m. We'll see you next time.
All right, great show, Michael.
Yeah.
I hope you had fun today.
I did have fun. It's always a pleasure to be here, and welcome back to live TV.
That's
Don't
right.
go anywhere.
Yeah,
You're not
you
allowed
and
to.
Tracy hosted last time. Thanks for taking care of things while I was gone.
I think it was okay.
Yeah, I
Tracy's-
watched it on YouTube.
We let Tracy sit there, and she was in charge.
Well, you guys did a great job, and I think this is is this the last episode of June? Because there's some stuff coming up, and so we may take a little break from Orion today, but we'll be back soon, and we're going to leave you with this week's episode of Quick Hits put together by Becky, and we'll end on that. Thanks for watching.
See you later.
Next time.
Don't miss Super Saturday at the Orion Center. 3 events in one day. The outdoor garage sale along with the puzzle and game day swap will run from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And the free shredding event will run from 11 a.m. to 1. All events will take place in the Orion Center parking lot with free admission and parking. Celebrate the start of summer with the library's Summer Reading Kickoff. This annual event will take place this Saturday outside in the Reading Garden from 11 a.m. to 1. The event will include blow-up obstacle courses, strolling entertainment, fun activities, and food trucks. The Michigan DNR is hosting a free ORV and summer fishing weekend June 7th through June 8th. This is a great way to kick off the summer and enjoy the great outdoors and fun activities at your local parks. Mark your calendar for the Lions Club Jubilee. The carnival kicks off Thursday, June 19th and runs through Sunday, June 22nd in downtown Lake Orion. The weekend includes lots of activities for all ages. It looks like the rain will be on and off this week. Wednesday's forecast is calling for rain with a high of 80 and low 57. Mostly cloudy on Thursday with a high of 76 and low 55. Morning showers on Friday with a high of 68 and low 54. Partly cloudy on Saturday with a high of 73 and low 55. And evening showers on Sunday with a high of 77 and low 59. Well, that's it for this week's ONTV Quick Hit. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.